The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Allá viene, cada quien cambia el ritmo.
Zach was 21 when he lost his life in an accidental drowning. But during that time period, we found out exactly how much he was touching people. Zach had an impulsive disorder, so he was constantly, going from place to place, and I thought I was, going after him, trying to keep him safe. But what I was finding out is he just wanted to be with people who were in need. And so he was spending a lot of time with the homeless of Fort Wayne, just getting to know them and just giving them love, giving them the clothes off of his back, just making them feel like they were a friend. And that's what we heard at the funeral. Like 1,016 people come through the funeral, and every third person, I swear, was saying, he listened to me, he didn't judge me, he was my friend. I think sometimes Zachary knew or felt like he was different, and he just didn't want anybody to ever feel like they weren't, that they mattered, and that, what the strength of faith could do in their life. And after he passed away, we got a lot of people that contacted me, letting me know exactly what he meant in their lives and how he changed their lives. And in some cases he brought God into their life. In other cases, people just felt like they had a friend, and that they could make a difference in the world as well if he could. So then we started the Backpacks of Hope, and at first we wanted to give back to the people who Zach loved so much, and the people that were in need. But at the same time, we wanted to carry on his message that you matter, and that that you have someone who cares about you. And so luckily we've been able to do that. First year we gave about 45 backpacks out, and this year it was 720 just in our area. So this is also in Mississippi and Michigan, and then southern Indiana. There's a chapter there that's picked it up, in Kokomo, Indiana as well. The Greenfield chapter in Indiana, they gave out 150 backpacks this year. So, with all of the different chapters, we did well over 1,000 backpacks this year. That was able to help people in need. We had some homeless vets that we were able to give about 100 backpacks. Some displaced students within Fort Wayne community, we were able to give 65 to them. And then some soup kitchens around, like Huntington Soup Kitchen, and then also the ministry for this, I think they're called the Street Ministry. We were able to give some backpacks to them as well. And then anything that was left over from the event that we had in December, we'll hand out at the point in time count. And the mission also keeps some bags on, at their facility for new people who come in. They're given a backpack full of the items. So, and everything in the backpacks, obviously, we want it to be new. We want them, the people who are in need. One of the things we want to let them know is, everybody's worth getting something new and having someone care about them and having something they can take pride in that's theirs. So we try to, pack it full of things that they, will last a long time. A lot of the people who came through the viewing at his funeral, they thought he was homeless. They had no idea that he was any different than they were. He just gave them a lot of advice, a lot of love, a lot of friendship. And if they had a problem, he normally tried to. I got a lot of calls saying, this person has a problem, can you help them, or can you help direct them to where they could get some help? So he was constantly thinking, about helping people. Riverbank had given away and his feet got caught in the vines. I mean, they quickly found out that he did have a strong foundation behind him and he was very loved. But at the time that it happened, they didn't really know who he was. And so quickly, you know, as our family filtered in and, you know, they found out the story of Zach. You know, other articles were wrote after that one, but you're right. I mean, it was so hard in that initial report is because he had a family that loved him so much, and he was so much a part of our family. He just wanted to be a part of the homeless community as well. You know, with all of the problems that they do have in Fort Wayne and surrounding the river and the location he was in is, you know, at first they had to interview it or like investigate it like it was a homicide. You know, they had to take every precaution to make sure that there wasn't foul play involved. And understandably, I mean, because a lot of times he put himself in dangerous situations. So, you know, it took a while for us to figure out exactly what had happened and talking to people who had, you know, talked to him just minutes before it happened. And then actually the lady, Denise Lee, who found him and was looking for the radio station clue as well. You know, it's just, it was piecing a lot of pieces together because I had talked to him the night before because his sister was cheering for IPFW at the time and he was going to go with me to the game, but decided he wanted to go karaokeing with some friends. And I was like, oh honey, go ahead and go with your friends, that's no problem. And then we were supposed to talk that morning, and by afternoon I was like, why have I tried calling his phone and there's no answer, and it was hours before we were even notified. I mean, it was a tough day, you know. It was a tough day. Oh.
How did he support himself? Did he live with you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he would go between our house and then, you know, he would go spend a few days with, there was a girl that was pregnant and that he was really concerned about her. So he spent a lot of time there just making sure she had food. But every day I would drive to Fort Wayne and make sure he had the food that he had. Exactly. So he was a good kid. He was very loved. So he had a full support system of people who loved him, and I think that maybe that's why he felt that he could do what he was doing and making a difference. And
being loved, he could understand the need to be loved.
I think
to be
so.
cared for.
I think so. And just his faith base. I mean, his faith base was so huge to him, and I think that's something, you know, from, you know, a baby on, you know, that's something that's always been in his life. And so he understands the power of faith, and he left a legacy for sure. Well, and too, with him having that impulsive disorder, I just don't even think that he understood the difference that he was making. I mean, I hope now, I hope there's that heavenly thing that, you know, he can actually see, you know, the grace that he's brought to so many people. You know, it's just, I had Zachary, and then I had a daughter, Caitlin, that died during delivery, and then I have a daughter, Allison, that's in South Carolina. She's 22, and then a son, Jacob. He's a senior in high school. He's 18.
And Jacob is part of your foundation.
Jacob and Allie both are. Yeah, yeah, they're both co-founders of it. Yeah, so.
With you, all three of you are co-founders.
Yeah, we're co-founders of
What
it.
a great family tradition, so to speak.
Yes, what time, ladies?
Well, and it's so funny, we come up with a name, the Backpacks of Hope, along a roadside on a trip that we had taken as a kind of a recovery trip with my extended family to New Orleans, and we went to Gulf Shores. And after the trip was over, we had talked a lot about where we were going to go with, you know, creating a foundation and what we wanted to, the message we wanted to send in the backpacks. And so we were sitting along a roadside, and we're all, you know, talking about different names that we might want to call the backpacks. And you know, the kids were just like Backpacks of Hope, because he gave hope to so many people. So Well, one of the things I found the very first year that we did the backpacks is this one gentleman just started taking everything out that's in it, and I said, "Oh gosh, that's all yours." And he said, "Do you have another bag I can put it in?" And I was like, "Okay." So we put it in, and I'm just watching him. All of a sudden, he starts pulling all these things out from his pockets and putting them in the backpack. And I realized at that point in time that backpack's like home to him. You know, he put all of his items that he wanted to keep safe in that backpack because he knew it was a solid, safe backpack. One of my friends that had never attended the event came that night, and that was the first thing he said as well, is he could not believe the smiling faces and the children that were laughing and playing, and when they got their backpacks, they were just so excited. Oh yeah, there was kids from a 2-month-old baby all the way to elderly people.
All ages,
Yeah.
all different kinds of people.
All walks,
and another key is no judgment.
Oh no,
No,
no
like,
judgment.
prove you're homeless. We'll give you a backpack.
No, you do not have to prove that you're homeless. You know,
if you have a
it's-
need,
if you
come
have a
and get
need,
it.
absolutely, absolutely. And in the backpacks, we have blankets, hats, gloves, hand warmers, ponchos, all your personal. What?
Well, I'm just glad
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
I was going to ask you what
Right,
was in the bag.
and then all of you, every personal hygiene item that you could imagine. You know, a couple things that we've added recently as we found out the need is like foot powder, because the feet are so
Oh, my
important.
God.
Yeah, and socks, and so we keep every year adding different things that we feel, you know, might need to be added to it. And what we're starting to find, and which is this is great, is like different people who work in industries where they have access to maybe socks or to blankets or to backpack, you know, are starting to realize what we do and are starting to support us. Kelly Chevrolet also came on board with us a couple years ago, and their connections have been so fabulous for our organization and helping as many people in need as possible. You know, they have very good hearts, and we try to get the message out to the young kids that I mean, a lot of times young kids don't think that they can accomplish certain things in life, just based on that they're teenagers a lot of the times, and they have those insecurities. But I've even started in middle schools, talking to middle schools that have done donation drives for us, letting them know it doesn't matter who you are or what you think, you know, you can or can't accomplish, that you can make a difference just by showing compassion and being kind and not being judgmental. You know, those things are important.
Exactly.
I've had friends contact me and say, you know, their schedule's busy. They just need, you know, they wonder if they can just give us a monetary donation and let us do the shopping. And I'm just like, that matters as much as anything else, because it takes help in all different directions to make this come off and be successful. And when we started doing this, I had known a little bit about the homeless community because of Zach. Zach had told me a lot of different stories, but I didn't understand the profound effect and, you know, the faces that are associated with homelessness, or even being in need, like a couch surfer, or, you know, whatever scenario it might be. That I found that mental illness is huge. It is huge in the homeless community, and, you know, a lot of times, you know, they can't help the scenario that they're in. It takes people caring about them and helping them. I don't know how they survive it. I just, you know, working through the mission, they've become kind of a second family, you know, and they share the stories with me, and I just have such compassion, you know, just such compassion for the people who help people in need, and then the people who are in need. You know, it's just, you know, I don't know how anybody, I mean, I know personally I would never look at a homeless person again without wondering what their story is, you know?
No, I mean,
You know,
a
it's
lot
just-
of people call homeless people lazy, defective character,
It's not that at all.
I say that if you can survive in cold weather, you have a lot more character than I have.
You know, we are very tight and always have been family. We're very tight knit. But the thing is so often we worried about Zach. We were worried about like why he wanted to be spending so much time in areas that he didn't have to be in when he had a very comfy bed at home and, you know, people around him he didn't need or want for anything. And, you know, he kept saying that his clothes kept being taken, and I just kept buying him more clothes. And I found out that he was giving them all away.
You finally figured out what happened to his clothes, right?
Yes. I mean, and that's why so many people were saying, you know, I needed this, you know, I needed a jacket or I needed a shirt. And, you know, one person even said, stood there and took off his his shirt and his jacket and gave it to this person in need. And I'm just like, but that doesn't shock me. I mean, none of the stories that I've heard, knowing Zachary's heart, and two, you know, one of the messages also when I'm talking to kids is, you know, with Zach's impulsive disorder, it didn't mean that he was immune to getting in trouble or, you know, never for anything like malice, but, you know, trying to help other people out. I mean, he tripped into some trouble at times too, but never looked at it as a negative. Just seem to find a positive in it and go forward and, you know, just I think that's why when he looked at people and their struggles and the troubles that he didn't judge them and he just wanted them to know they had a friend. You know, one of the stories that I will never forget is I had taken him to Arby's because he liked to get, you know, he had this little thing, he wanted a milkshake and a sandwich and all these things, and we're standing we're in line at the drive-up, and this guy started to come towards the car in front of us, and I looked at Zach and I said, I wish he wouldn't do that because he could really scare somebody, and I would be afraid that they would react negatively to him. And he's like, Mom, that guy used to have a great job, lost his job, has 6 kids, he's just trying to support his family and feed them. And I was just like, oh my gosh. You know, he knew everyone's stories because he had met them, he had listened to them, and that gave me a whole new outlook on, you know, situations like that.
Well, you're carrying on his legacy, really, and broadening it, expanding it, making it richer even.
It's taken an army to carry it on. I mean, not only Allie and Jacob, but my immediate family. I have my parents, my aunts and uncles and cousins. I mean, everybody has been part of this. My friends. It's just become huge. The amount of support that we have to carry this project on. You know, it's definitely because everyone loves Zach, but it's because everyone has seen it now and understands it and the need for it. The need to be involved, the need to carry on that love, that compassion.
That's beautiful. I just want to ask you if there's anything else you want to add, or you want to tell a brief story.
Go ahead and tell me your story.
Well, the day that I came down to
Yeah.
your event, I had gone to the store to pick up a few items, and this was at Christmas, and there were a group of teenage girls singing Christmas carols outside the entrance. So I walked by, and they said Merry Christmas, they said Merry Christmas, and I got inside the store, and two of the girls came running up to me and said, here, and gave me a $10 gift card to Kroger.
What?
I was stunned.
Oh my gosh. I think that you definitely don't ever realize until it happens to you the just what it means to have someone think that you're special, or take that, you know, just a random act of kindness. You know, just it's profound in people's lives. And when that happens, is people who aren't in need want to pay that forward, and that ends up helping. I mean, it's amazing how everything's connected. I sure appreciate you coming and caring about what we do.
Los sucesos en la vida, de la vida y en la vida. Los sucesos en la vida reflejan el ser interior. Los sucesos en la vida, de la vida y en la vida.